Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. Right now, your newest remote hire is probably sitting at their kitchen table just staring at like 15 open browser tabs.
Oh, yeah, the classic app hopping nightmare.
Exactly. I mean, they're trying to figure out the company's time off policy for next month, but they can't remember the password for the core HR portal.
Right, because it's a different login than everything else.
Always. And they don't have a desk neighbor they can just casually lean over and ask.
Yeah.
Plus, they're definitely too embarrassed to message their new boss on Slack with what feels like a quote-unquote dumb question.
Yeah, no one wants to do that on week one.
Right. So they just end up clicking around aimlessly. They check the internal wiki. They dig up some employee handbook PDF from like 3 years ago. They search their inbox. It is just an incredibly frustrating and isolating experience.
It really is.
So today our mission is a comprehensive deep dive into a tailored resource for modern professionals looking to solve exactly this problem. We're exploring this really fascinating 14-minute read by Felix Römer from smartkeys.org, and it's titled HR Chatbots: Automating Employee Support and FAQs in the Workplace.
And that kitchen table scenario you just described, that is the exact friction point defining the modern business landscape right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, hybrid and remote teams are the absolute norm now. And with that shift, employees are just wasting countless hours chasing down basic operational information.
Just to do their job.
Right. And, the traditional instinct for a company facing this issue is usually to just purchase a brand new piece of software.
Oh, absolutely. Let's buy another tool.
Exactly. They build another portal requiring another login, which honestly usually just adds to the confusion.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
It does. But the fundamental insight in this text is that the solution isn't adding more standalone software. It's about centralizing support inside the collaboration tools your team is already using all day long.
Like Slack or Teams.
Exactly, like Slack or Microsoft Teams. You are essentially building an always-on assistant that lives seamlessly within their existing workflow.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I think anyone who has ever started a new remote job feels that pain acutely. If you build an assistant right into Slack, you're removing the barriers to entry.
Right, the friction is just gone.
Yeah, the employee doesn't have to go hunting for the information. The information is delivered directly to the chat window they already have open. But calling something a chatbot can mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah, it's a very broad term.
Because it could mean a highly intelligent virtual colleague, or it could mean one of those infuriating press, 1 for sales press, 2 for support automated menus that just trap you in a loop.
That's the worst.
Right. So the article actually spends a lot of time breaking down how these systems function under the hood to solve this digital friction. And it divides them to 2 main engines: rule-based systems and AI-driven assistants.
Yeah, and understanding the mechanics of those 2 engines is just critical, because a successful deployment really requires both operating in tandem.
Okay, so how do they differ?
Well, let's look at rule-based systems first.
Yeah.
These are built entirely on rigid decision trees. So if the user selects option A, the system guarantees it will display outcome B.
Got it.
Think of it like a train on a track. It can only go exactly where the rails have been laid by a programmer.
Right. It can't suddenly decide to take a detour.
Exactly. And you use this engine for high-risk compliance-critical situations where absolute accuracy is paramount.
Like legal stuff?
Precisely. If an employee asks about the company's strict anti-harassment policy or the legal eligibility requirements for family medical leave, you do not want an AI getting creative or hallucinating a personalized response.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be a legal disaster.
It really would. You need the exact legally vetted text delivered identically every single time.
Okay, so that structural rigidity makes total sense for legal compliance. But the article contrasts that with AI-driven assistants, right? The ones that rely on natural language processing, or NLP, and machine learning.
Yes, the NLP side of things.
Which is the engine designed for the messy reality of how humans actually communicate.
Yeah.
Because, I'm never going to type query, paid time off entitlement parameters.
Nobody talks like that.
Right. I'm going to type into Teams, like, hey, do we get next Friday off?
Yeah.
Or need a vacate? How many days do I have left?
And NLP actually parses that slang.
Exactly. It breaks down my casual sentence, ignores all those informal filler words we use, and dissects the underlying intent of my messy typing. And the machine learning component analyzes the outcome. If it gives you the right answer and I don't ask a follow-up question, it learns that its interpretation was correct, so it continually improves its accuracy without human intervention.
And what's fascinating here is that the real magic of a modern HR platform happens when the system orchestrates those two engines together.
Like switching between them.
Yeah, it seamlessly switches back and forth. It uses the off-road vehicle of AI to navigate your casual phrasing and figure out what you're actually asking for.
Okay.
But once it identifies that you need a highly regulated compliance document, it immediately switches tracks back to the rule-based decision tree to serve up the exact legal PDF or execute the formal workflow.
So it's the best of both worlds.
Exactly. It provides the conversational flexibility of AI with the legal precision of a traditional database.
Okay, now I do have to push back a little on the mechanics of that NLP learning process.
Sure, go for it.
Because if these bots are actively parsing our slang, reading our casual phrasing, and learning from how we interact, doesn't that raise massive privacy concerns?
That is the #1 question employees have.
Right. I mean, are these systems just ingesting everyone's private chat logs to train their models? If I ask an HR bot a sensitive question about taking medical leave, how do I know that data isn't suddenly floating around in some server for anyone in IT to read?
It's a very valid concern. And the text highlights data governance as the foundational pillar of these platforms, precisely because employee trust is non-negotiable.
Right, because if they don't trust it, they won't use it.
Exactly. So enterprise-grade systems ensure compliance with major privacy regulations like GDPR in Europe and the CCPA in California through a few specific technical guardrails.
Like what?
Well, first is role-based least privilege access. That means the system architecturally restricts data visibility. So a junior IT tech simply cannot see the contents of an HR query, period.
Okay, that's good.
Second, they utilize data minimization and anonymization. When HR leaders look at analytics dashboards to see what questions are trending, the system strips out personally identifiable information.
Because it's just aggregates.
Right. The dashboard shows 50 employees inquired about mental health benefits this week rather than identifying the specific individuals.
Victim.
And finally, robust platforms feature automatic redaction. If an AI bot realizes it cannot answer your complex medical leave question and hands the conversation over to a human HR rep, it can automatically obscure sensitive personal health details in the chat history before the human even takes over.
Oh, that's incredibly smart.
Yeah.
So we have these highly capable engines, and we have the necessary privacy guardrails in place. But, underlying technology doesn't do a company any good until it's packaged into a usable product.
Right. You have to actually apply it.
Exactly. And when I was reading Felix Römer's breakdown of the specific software platforms shaping this market, what struck me was how highly specialized these tools have become.
Oh, absolutely.
It isn't just one generic HR bot you buy off the shelf. You have to map the software's specific mechanisms to the exact friction points in your business.
Because the ecosystem is incredibly fragmented by design. I mean, a tool built to screen 10,000 warehouse applicants operates fundamentally differently than a tool built to survey your existing executive team.
Right, so let's actually examine how these tools solve those distinct problems. Starting in the recruiting and talent acquisition space. The article contrasts tools based on the type of hiring you're doing.
Which is a huge distinction.
Huge.
Yeah.
If you're doing high-volume hiring, say staffing up 50 retail stores for the holidays, a platform like Paradox shines because it uses conversational flows to automate interview scheduling at just a massive scale. But if you're hiring for highly specialized roles where candidates might drop out if they feel they are talking to a robot, a platform like Cellitra humanly focuses its NLP on maintaining a highly conversational, human-like engagement to keep candidates warm.
Yeah, keeping that human touch is vital there.
And then you have specialized engines like Eightfold. Instead of just searching a resume for a keyword like manager, Eightfold uses AI talent intelligence to analyze the cluster of skills around a candidate's past roles, predicting if their adjacent capabilities make them a strong match.
That's a great feature.
Yeah. And the text also mentions Maya for drastically shrinking overall time to hire XOR for massive top-of-funnel sourcing, and Brazen, which is custom-built to manage virtual hiring events.
And really, the underlying theme across all those recruiting tools is velocity.
Just moving fast.
Exactly. They are designed to process external inputs rapidly. But when we look at the internal tools, the knowledge and help desk category, the mechanism shifts toward maintaining a single source of truth.
Right, solving those internal friction points we talked about. A tool like MebaBot focuses heavily on empowering employees to self-serve their benefits and policy questions.
Which saves so much time.
So much time. And Talent takes a knowledge-first approach, meaning if the HR team updates the remote work policy in one central document, Tally instantly propagates that new rule across every chat interface in the company, so no one is reading outdated guidelines.
That prevents a lot of internal conflict.
Oh, for sure.
Huh?
But the mechanism I found most clever is in a platform called Bloomfire. It centralizes your knowledge base, but runs continuous FAQ analytics to identify content gaps.
I love this feature.
It's brilliant. It tracks what employees are asking the bot, compares it against the existing database, and flags HR to say, hey, 30 people asked about the new dental provider this week, and you haven't written an article about it yet.
It proactively tells you what your employees are confused about.
Exactly. And for companies that just want to consolidate, a platform like Barista spans both IT and HR support, creating one unified help desk.
And beyond just answering questions, the text outlines a third category entirely focused on engagement.
Oh, yeah. This is interesting.
This is where the technology shifts from reactive support to proactive listening. Platforms like Lena AI can run conversational pulse surveys directly in Slack using sentiment analysis to link employee mood with overall performance signals.
Wow. So it's measuring how people feel.
Exactly. Or a tool like HiBob, which specializes in providing leadership with highly visual dashboards tracking ENPS, the Employee Net Promoter Score.
Right.
That score essentially measures how likely your staff is to recommend your company as a good place to work, functioning as a real-time barometer of company culture.
And then for organizations that want to build their own bespoke workflows without juggling all these different vendors, the article highlights all-in-one solutions.
The do-it-yourself route.
Yeah, like Chatbot provides a completely no-code drag-and-drop interface so an HR manager can build a conversational flow without needing a software engineer.
Which is huge.
Totally.
Mhm.
SmartBot 360 natively tracks CS customer satisfaction. In an HR context, that means after the bot answers a payroll question, it immediately measures whether the employee actually felt helped or if they walked away frustrated.
Mhm.
And then there is Guppy, which attempts to blend the recruitment phase straight into core daily HR tasks. But looking at all these capabilities, here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The top-tier platforms across all these categories are utilizing something called sentiment cues. They aren't just parsing the vocabulary you use, they are actively analyzing the emotional tone of your typing.
And this is a critical safety valve. The system measures the mechanics of the interaction. So if an employee is suddenly typing in all caps, or if they are repeatedly submitting the same phrase because the bot isn't understanding them.
And just swearing at it, probably.
Oh, definitely. If the NLP detects a high density of negative keywords, the system registers a spike in frustration.
Right.
And instead of trapping that employee in an endless automated loop, the bot automatically hits the brakes and routes the entire interaction along with all the context to a live human representative.
It prevents the exact kitchen table frustration we talked about at the beginning.
Precisely, which is why selecting the right platform requires deep operational awareness. Choosing software isn't about acquiring the flashiest AI features. It requires a business leader to honestly assess their volume and role complexity.
Like, what do you actually need?
Exactly. Do you need high-volume scheduling or do you need deep knowledge management? The strategic goal is to solve the friction without falling into the trap of vendor sprawl.
What, you don't want 5 bots?
No, you cannot implement 5 different chatbots for 5 different departments because then your employees just have to figure out which bot to talk to, completely defeating the entire purpose of centralized support.
That makes total sense. But, none of this fascinating technology matters if it doesn't fundamentally improve the business.
Right.
Which brings us to the strategic value, the so what of it all. Why should a business leader, an HR director, or even a line manager care about implementing conversational AI right now?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the justification always comes back to measurable business impact and undeniable ROI.
Return on investment, always.
Always. By automating the repetitive high-volume inquiries, you are significantly lowering your operational costs without having to add headcount to your HR or IT teams as your company grows.
Right. You scale without adding staff.
Exactly. You are screening thousands of resumes in a matter of hours, drastically accelerating your time to hire in a competitive market. Furthermore, these systems provide total resilience during seasonal spikes.
Oh, like open enrollment.
Yes. During open enrollment for benefits or a massive holiday hiring push, a human HR team can easily get overwhelmed and burn out. A scalable AI system maintains your standard service levels regardless of the volume. It simply doesn't get fatigued.
It's an incredible operational lever.
Yeah.
And Felix Römer's article provides a literal playbook for integrating these tools into Slack and Microsoft Teams to achieve what he calls quick wins.
I love the quick wins.
They're the best. These are deployments that take days, not quarters, but immediately change how it feels to work at the company. The standout example for me is the recruiter bot.
Oh yeah, the stats on that are wild.
The text highlights a massive deployment statistic by putting a referral bot directly into Slack. One company drove 100% of their employee referrals through the bot and cut the time it takes to process a referral by 50%.
And just consider the mechanics behind that time reduction. In a traditional setup, if I want to refer a former colleague for an open role, I have to find the external careers portal, remember my employee login, locate the specific alphanumeric job ID, and fill out a tedious 6-page form.
Which no one wants to do.
The friction is so high that I will likely just procrastinate and forget to do it. But if I can open a direct message with RecruiterBot in Slack paste, my colleague's LinkedIn URL, and answer 3 quick conversational questions.
Bam, you're done.
I've completed the referral in 30 seconds. By removing the administrative friction, you unlock a massive channel of high-quality talent.
And the mechanics of the internal tools are just as seamless. Like the Knowledge Bot operates by integrating directly with your company's existing repositories like Guru, Confluence, or Zendesk. So when a developer asks a technical policy question in a channel, the bot doesn't send them a link to a 50-page document. It extracts the exact relevant paragraph and drops it directly into the chat.
Which keeps them in their workflow.
Exactly. Then there is the Welcome Bot, which orchestrates the onboarding experience. It messages new hires on days 1 and 2, automatically verifying their software access and introducing them to the correct Slack channels.
Ensuring they aren't sitting around for a week waiting for IT to provision their accounts.
Yes. And we cannot overlook the daily operational relief provided by HR and benefits bots. Like automating PTO validation completely changes the managerial workflow.
It really does.
Instead of navigating through a clunky HRIS interface like Workday, an employee just sends a message to the bot asking for next Thursday off.
Right.
The bot silently pings the Workday database to check the employee's accrued hours. If they have the balance, the bot instantly sends a direct message to the employee's manager with a simple approve or deny button.
So easy.
The moment the manager clicks approve, the bot updates the HR database, logs the time off, and blocks out the employee's calendar. The entire transaction happens in the background.
And on the cultural side, the playbook includes lightweight flows like a stand-up bot for asynchronous daily team updates, or a birthday bot that automatically tracks milestones to ensure remote employees still feel celebrated.
Little things that matter a lot.
Absolutely. And I want to pause here and ask you, the listener, to actively consider your own daily workflows. What stands out to you?
Yeah, think about it.
Is it the massive, measurable business impact of cutting referral processing time in half by removing a 6-page form? Or is it the simple, quiet relief of never having to log into a separate portal just to check your PTO balance again?
Honestly, I'd take the PTO balance one every day.
Right. The strategic value of these tools spans the entire spectrum, delivering hard ROI to the boardroom while simultaneously improving the daily quality of life for the individual employee.
Okay, so assuming a leadership team recognizes this value and wants to adopt the technology, how does a company actually integrate this into their operations without causing a massive disruptive overhaul? Because implementing enterprise software is notoriously chaotic.
No, it's usually a nightmare. But the methodology recommended in the text is built entirely around restraint. You do not attempt to automate your entire HR department overnight. You begin with a highly targeted, narrow pilot program.
Okay, so you isolate one specific friction point, like maybe automating just the PTO requests or teaching the bot to answer only the top 10 most frequently asked questions.
Exactly. You map the pilot to a process that has high volume but low complexity. This allows you to define very clear success metrics.
What kind of metrics?
A key metric here is the deflection rate, which measures the percentage of employee questions that the bot successfully resolves without any human HR intervention.
Oh, okay. So keeping HR out of the loop successfully.
Right. By keeping the scope tight and monitoring that deflection rate, you can prove measurable operational wins in a matter of weeks. Once the pilot proves the ROI and employees learn to trust the tool, then you scale it to more complex workflows.
Makes sense.
And crucially, while evaluating vendors for that initial pilot, you must carefully navigate their pricing models.
Yeah, the article offers a very stark warning about how these tools are monetized. You generally have to choose between two models. There is subscription pricing, which charges you a flat rate per employee seat, versus usage-based pricing, which charges you a micro fee for every single interaction the bot handles.
And that choice is huge.
It is. Because if you choose the seat-based model, your finance team will love the predictable monthly budget. But if only 20% of your workforce actually talks to the bot, you're severely overpaying for thousands of unused seats.
Right.
Conversely, usage-based pricing aligns your costs perfectly with the actual value being generated. However, if a controversial new company policy rolls out and 5,000 employees simultaneously message the bot to complain or ask questions,
Oh, boy.
yeah, your monthly bill could spike exponentially overnight.
Yeah.
You have to forecast your internal engagement volume incredibly carefully.
And engaging in that careful architectural planning today is what prepares an organization for the inevitable evolution of this technology tomorrow.
Because it's not stopping here.
Not at all. Because as advanced as the workflows we've discussed are, they are fundamentally reactive. An employee asks a question, the bot provides the answer. But the future of the conversational AI industry is entirely predictive.
So what does this all mean for the future of work? How does a predictive assistant change the employee experience?
We are rapidly approaching a reality where these assistants do not wait for you to experience friction. They will utilize the intent and sentiment signals we analyzed earlier to proactively nudge employees offering support before a problem even fully materializes.
Wow, so instead of me asking for time off, the bot might analyze my login hours, realize I've been working late for 3 consecutive weeks, and send me a proactive message saying, hey, your PTO balance is high and your schedule has been intense. We highly recommend you take this coming Friday off.
That is the exact trajectory. By building deep, invisible integrations across your applicant tracking system, your payroll software, and your learning management systems, these predictive bots will orchestrate end-to-end employee support quietly in the background, anticipating needs based on behavioral data.
Which is undeniably efficient.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, the idea of an AI tracking my behavior that closely feels a little intense.
It does, and this raises an important question, one that I want to leave you to mull over as we wrap up.
Okay.
The text explicitly points out that machine learning models are already being trained to flag early signs of declining employee engagement. They analyze response times, sentiment shifts, and participation rates to identify the behavioral patterns of an employee who is at high risk of attrition, someone who is basically preparing to quit.
Wow, it can see it coming.
It can. So if these predictive bots become so sophisticated that they can accurately flag an employee's intent to leave before their own human manager even senses a problem, what is the ethical and operational protocol?
Right. What do you do with that info?
How do we, as business leaders, balance that incredible, almost unnerving level of AI foresight with the delicate, empathetic human touch required to actually sit down, have a vulnerable conversation, and retain that top performer? The technology can flag the behavioral shift with perfect accuracy, but only a human being can truly solve the underlying human problem.
That is a profoundly heavy, fascinating line to walk. It's really the ultimate test of balancing ruthless operational efficiency with genuine humanity in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into the SmartKeys podcast today. We hope this deep dive equipped you with a completely new understanding of the mechanisms behind conversational AI and how it's actively reshaping business operations.
Thanks for listening.
If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the future of work productivity and technology, please hit that subscribe button right now. And I highly encourage you to read Felix Römer's full comprehensive article for yourself to see all the data we discussed today. We have linked it directly in the show notes, or you can find it by visiting smartkeys.org. Until next time, may your browser tabs be few and your workflows be frictionless. Keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.